So let's move on to another example, also from the perspective of the vehicle manufacturer, in this case, a product line manager. So as a product line manager, you just introduced this new truck model. How is that performing, that new model? How is it actually performing? You'd like to know that. How is it performing compared to your specifications? What features are being used or not used, and by what demographic? What are the best opportunities to reduce cost and to improve performance? So if we drill into this example, this application is showing in the chart in the upper left-hand corner areas where there's a significant variance between the actual use measured from the connected system and the specifications. And so if we turn our attention to the bottom bar there, the HVAC load, we've got a compressor where we're measuring the peak load on that compressor. It's only 50% of our specification. So it's not operating too hard. And so this is an opportunity where we could reduce cost by replacing that compressor with a smaller version that costs less and furthermore draws less power so we can improve our efficiency. And if we turn our attention now to the fuel efficiency bar, this is great news. The fuel efficiency of this vehicle is actually higher than we expected, higher than we specified. Furthermore, if we look at the aggregate fleet fuel efficiency over time in the chart below, we see that there's a significant jump in fuel efficiency at a particular point in time. We introduced a in-dash touchscreen software cruise control option around that time, and we're not sure if that might have contributed to that jump in aggregate fuel efficiency. So let's go to another view. This particular view here is focused around usage of features in that vehicle. So we introduced a bunch of new features, and we'd like to know which of those features are being used and by what demographic, what's not used, what are the opportunities to reduce cost. And so if we look at the highest bar there, and this bar represents the percent of vehicles in which that feature is being used. This particular bar is for this new in-dash software-activated cruise control option. And what we see is that this is being used by 95% of the vehicles. Now, when we introduced this feature, we're uncertain if that was going to be well adopted by the drivers, so we actually left in the hardware physical cruise control option that's on the steering column. And what we see is that particular hardware cruise control option is only used in 5% of the vehicles. So informed by this data, as those trucks are in service, not a year later, as those trucks are in service, these are aggregate reports off of that fleet of vehicles, we can now make an informed decision that we can remove that hardware cruise control option in confidence, in the confidence of this connected information. But what's the opportunity of pursuing that particular change? Is there real value in it outside of just removing the part? So what we've done is we brought in some cost information associated with that particular part. This is coming from our ERP system. One of the other features and values of the ThingWorx platform is that we can easily aggregate information from other systems. So we're bringing in that cost information for that hardware cruise control option, and then in addition, we are taking from our CRM system the projected sales for that particular model year. And if we take the product of those two, that yields an $8 million opportunity to reduce cost. So now we really have the information informed by use, coupled with the information from our back-end systems, so that we can confidently make that change and realize significant cost savings benefits, actually much better than some of the alternate opportunities for cost savings that you see in this diagram. So at this point, let's launch a change request. And what we're going to do is we're pulling the assembly information from our PLM system, from the context for that hardware cruise control, opening that up in our Creo View application, and initiating that change via a markup, where we're providing instructions for the engineering team to remove that option. And this, in turn, will automatically generate a change request in the PLM system, which is sent to the engineering team responsible for that assembly so that they can actually go forward with the implementation.